We're going to be able to analyze our health. We're going to be able to recommend personalized care. And we're going to have that data at the physician's fingertip. Some of these things that I've put on the right-hand side are just sort of my imagination, but we think we can profile 3,000 serum proteins. We think we can do things that involve single-cell profiles that can make early warning of cancer and other diseases. So these kind of technologies that are converging today are going to deliver a much healthier patient. This will also generate lots of data, and data is something that is a two-edged sword. Who will generate this data? The patient will generate it, the system will generate it. Who will own the data? Who will interpret the data? And importantly, in what we have today, a digitally flat world, who will be the leaders in this data generation? Today, medical tourism, which is patients going abroad for health care because it's cheaper to go abroad, has now over 750,000 Americans participating. Beijing Genomics has established a large DNA sequencing facility with 4,000 employees, generating an immense amount of data. So we need to have a competitive stance, and we need institutions like Calit2 to participate in the gathering of this data. I believe there's tremendous opportunity for academic industrial partnerships in going forward in organizing this data and making healthcare much more effective. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Drew. And for those of you who are wondering what this quantified self is about, this here is a body media device that I wear. Director Ramesh and our Chief of Staff, Jerry Sheehan, wear many, many more. This is making about 4,000 measurements a minute and gives my caloric output 24/7. It's part of our living the dream. We have many activities with the medical community at Irvine, with San Diego, in our path forward defined, from the Life Chips program at Irvine to the Center for Wellness and Population Health Systems that Kevin Patrick leads here at San Diego, and many industrial engagements in this area. So we've heard about two of the four path forwards. Actually, we could say energy and environment, because those are separate ones with Dan. The health, we just heard from Drew. But this last one, culture, is one that people are somewhat puzzled by, and yet, to me, it's obvious. We have left physical reality behind forever. We now have an overlay of virtual reality, virtual bits, basically, and our physical world. So when you talk about a medical record, well, is that what's inside you, or is that inside the computer? What we've been doing all morning here, is that Irvine or San Diego? At Irvine, it's Irvine, and San Diego is virtual. In San Diego, we're real, and Irvine is virtual. But all of our work is more and more from social networks to Facebook. Think about young kids. How many of their friends are physical on a daily basis? And how many are virtual? Look at that percentage of virtual versus physical friends. Graph it over the last 10 years. One of the most dramatic social trends in human history. And so in culture, we have, in our path forward, the next 10 years, it's how do you live, work, and play in this increasingly mixed virtual physical space. Now, we have been fortunate from the very beginning of Calit2 that the digital arts, multimedia, have been a cornerstone of Calit2. Many people don't remember when the New York Times' John Markoff authored a full-page story about the UCSD Calit2 building dedication back in 2005. You know what section of the New York Times that was published in? The arts section. A synthesis of art and science for the 21st century. So we've been very very lucky to have such a groundswell of digital artists that are involved. We're going to hear from two now, Mark Dresser here at UC San Diego and Michael Dessen at Irvine. These are two collaborators who work together in the musical space, and we are going to do an experiment here, keep your fingers crossed, of them being able to play as if they were in the same physical room with each other in this mixed virtual physical space.
Hello, Michael?
Yeah, dude. You
Hey, how are you?
Okay.
Oh, you're on
Communication in virtual physical space is one of the first problems you confront.
You have sound?
Hey. I just wanted to say a little bit, very briefly, about telematic music. And it's a real-time performance between musicians in different geographical locations via high-speed, high-bandwidth networks like Internet2. We're using a software specifically designed for music performance, which allows for multi-channel, CD quality, or better audio with minimal delay. Typically, a performance will include 2 or 3 sites and as many as 5, with live audiences in each location and a live webcast. In recent years, we've been involved in numerous concerts conceived for this medium. This past Friday, for example, I performed in Resonations, a concert for peace with compositions conceived for specific improvisers located at the United Nations headquarters in New York and ensembles in Seoul, Korea, and Beijing. What's exciting for us is the ability to rehearse and develop new music and hopefully a viable new professional medium.
I'll just add to that. I know you've all been very patient here all morning and are eager to have some lunch, so we're just going to play a little bit of music. We're involved with a team of researchers and artists that is producing a concert later this year, and we did another one last year that involves video as well as scenic design and all sorts of visual things. For today, we're just dealing with sound, and one of the drawbacks is actually the video we've been watching all morning is delayed much more than the audio software that we use for our music. So you might want to just not look too closely at what's happening on the screen because it's a little disorienting sometimes. But we're going to start out improvising, which is really something at the core of our practice, coming out of jazz especially. And we'll move into, from a sort of more gradient or abstract kind of space, working with pitch and sound and rhythms that way, we'll move into a composition by Mark that deals with mathematical ratios and temporal ratios and rhythmic cycles. And it may sometimes be the relationships between what we're doing with these rhythms might be sort of complex, so it may sometimes sound like we're not actually connected at all. And I'm sure you've all been in relationships like that. But in fact, we have a sort of an invisible timeline of things happening underneath us so that we can dip in and out of the composition to find convergence. And it's that interplay, that counterpoint of convergence and divergence, which is really at the heart of a lot of this music we do. So we hope you enjoy it. Thanks for coming.